and blessings, sending love and light to each and every one of you right now. I just wanted to touch base with you. I know it's been a minute, and I know I say this every time, but I miss you. I am so super proud of most of you who are doing big things, and even for those of you who kind of fell back on some of your plans, that's okay. I understand life happens, but we have to stop making excuses for our inadequacies and our screw-ups, and we have to hold ourselves accountable. If we say we're going to do something, then we have to hold ourselves accountable for doing it. Today, I want to talk about setting goals that make us unstoppable. And for a moment, I want you to just take a minute and not think about what's going on in the world. Don't. When you wake up in the morning, don't immediately rush to watch the news or listen to NPR or rush to look at your Instagram or your Twitter feed. I want you to, for a change, focus on yourself. Focus on your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, the things that you're grateful for. In the next 60 days, I want us to embark on a 60-day gratitude fast, where basically we're fasting from all negativity, everything that stops us, holds us back, and I want us to focus only on gratitude. Focus on the things that you're grateful for, the people in your life. Because essentially what this is going to do is this is going to interweave a thread of gratitude into your life on multiple planes. And I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. We live on multiple planes of existence. We are not just bodies. We are spiritual beings having a human experience in a physical body. Our physical bodies are nothing more than a vessel, a ship, if you will, a mothership, like a computer system. But the brain of that is your soul. And so whatever it is that you focus on and whatever it is that you place the most energy, hocus pocus, what's your focus? That's what's going to manifest in your life. And so right now, I don't want us to think about the things that the world is thinking about. The shutdown of the government, the NSA, the Obamacare, the war going on in Afghanistan or Iraq, or nuclear weapons in Israel. I want us to only focus on what it is that we want to manifest and bring into our lives. Again, I've said it before. We can't be like the world and expect our lives to be different from the people in the world. I want us, during this 60-day fast, a negativity gratitude fast, again, where we're fasting from negativity and bullshit, poverty, things that hold us back, and we are going to be grateful for the things that uplift us, motivate us, encourage us, push us to be our top 1%, our best. That means waking up in the morning, or for some of you in the evening, whatever you are, morning person, night owl, whatever you are, break open your journal, and I want you to just ditto, journal about how wonderful life is, how good life is, how thankful you are for the people who are in your life, whoever it is in your life that makes you happy. Big mama, your father, your sister, your girlfriend, your husband, your children, whatever makes you happy to have oxygen in your lungs every morning. Your career, your business. Many of you don't know. Over the course of the past 6 months, I founded another business, an internet business, a virtual business. I'm so busy doing so many things to bring me income that I don't always have time to just sit back and focus. I took a sabbatical. I took time off where I just kind of went under the radar. And sometimes we need to do that. But for the month of November and the month of December, I want us to focus on what we're grateful for. For those of us who originally, I said, make a list of 101 goals, 101 things you want to do, places you want to go. things you want to accomplish and see and have, I want us to take a really good look at those for those of us who haven't. You should be looking at those every day. If not every day, at least once or twice a week. Maybe when you're sitting in traffic, or maybe, in the evening if you're having a green juice or a glass of wine or a beer or whatever. Just look over all the things that you want to do, because what that'll do is keep it fresh in your psyche, fresh in your heart and in your mind, and keep you focused. If you're spending 89.9% of your time being indoctrinated and programmed by what the world wants you to be programmed with, but you're only spending less than 2% of time on your goals and your aspirations and the things that you want to do, what do you think is going to come to pass more? The fears and things going on with the world. So right now, for those who've been saying, well, you know what, things haven't really been panning out the way I expected them to. Shit happens. That's life. That's why you have to have some type of plan enacted and in place for when the world decides to beat up on you. For when life decides it's going to have a tantrum. That's when you have a goal. That's what goals and dreams and aspirations are for. That's what the list of 101 goals is for. That's what a business plan is for. That's what an executive summary is for. So every day, if you're looking at that, eventually your subconscious mind is going to come up with some type of idea to say, I'm good at this. I'm really great at that. I'm passionate about this. Let me focus on a way that I can make this happen. And what do you know? Sometimes it's going to bring you money right away. It may not bring you money for a year or two, but at least you're moving towards that. You're building momentum towards that. We have to get back to our plan, because if you don't have a plan, you don't have shit. So you cannot be angry or upset with life, or the government, or your parents, or your baby daddy, or your baby's mother, or whoever, if you don't have a plan and you're not sticking to it. And you cannot be a victim unless you choose to be a victim. No one can do anything to you unless you bend over and allow them to do it. And even if someone does manage to get over on you, which people tend to do sometimes, they can only get over on you for a little while before you open your eyes and say, somebody is getting over on me. So you have to begin to stand up straight as men and women and stand on your square and begin to walk in who you are, in integrity, and stay focused on your goals. Stay focused on your plan. Stay focused on the things that you want to do and the person that you would like to become. I'm signing out. Love and light, peace and blessings. Let's get ready for this 60-day negativity fast, gratitude journal. Bust them out. Let's do big, wonderful, amazing things. Peace.
Peace and blessings. Today I just want to talk about our 60-day negativity fast and gratitude fast. But before I, talk about that, I want to just kind of talk about, growth doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional. You have to long for growth. Yes, shit is going to happen. Life is going to happen to you. But growth is optional. You don't have to grow. And one thing we know for sure is that when life happens, be that a divorce, be that a death in the family, be that being laid off or fired, be that having more bills than you have money coming in to pay for it, be that sickness, illness, be that just being anxious, having anxiety or disorder or disease or sickness, being overweight, whatever it is, when life decides to happen to you, and life will inevitably happen to you, you have to have some kind of mechanism to pull yourself out of the muck and the mire. And for me, I say that is a plan. That is a foolproof, bulletproof, windproof, weatherproof plan. That is why I'm so big about business plans, goals, vision boards. I keep them. I have them all over me. And constantly surrounding yourself with positive people, optimistic people, people who want to see you grow, who want to see you climb. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up at the dinner table, we weren't talking about entrepreneurship. We weren't talking about business plans. We were not talking about upward mobility. We were talking about what most people talk about, you know. And when we were children, if you were anything like me or had a childhood like mine, our parents and our family, they weren't teaching us rich dad concepts. They weren't teaching us how to own and operate our own businesses and how to be our own entrepreneurs and how to have multiple sources of income and multiple streams of income. We were taught how to be employees, good employees. We were taught how to have a winning resume, right? And to go to college, graduate, get a good job, and maybe one day you can retire with a gold watch, right? But the topography of that model is changing. And so we see more often today, we see 15, 16, 17-year-old internet millionaires. We see 21, 22-year-olds who own Fortune 500 companies. College dropouts, some of them even. I'm not advocating dropping out of college, but I am advocating having a plan. Plan A, B, C, D, even if you have to. If by now you do not have a business plan, you are planning to fail. If by now you do not have a list of 101 goals, places you want to go, things you want to do, things you want to see, things you want to have, then you are like a ship with no captain, a ship with no rudder. You are just out there. You're like a missile with no direction. And so you're bound to capsize. I've said it before. And so when I say to you, business plan, business plan, business plan, business plan, when I say goals, I'm not saying this to give you, a hard time. I'm saying this because this is what's going to help give you and your life direction. It's going to help steer you when life happens to you. You can look at those goals. You can look at that vision board and say, let me get back on track about what it is that I'm needing to do. If you want to be around growing people, you have to become, a growing person. If you want to attract that wonderful, sexual, beautiful, handsome, whatever it is that you want to attract, you have to kind of step up a little bit to that level so that you can be on the same playing field for them to even recognize you. And as you start getting committed, the question is, are you committed? Do you really want this? And I started working with you guys over a year ago, and I wanted to kind of pull the reins in and kind of back off of you because for the most part, I wanted you to begin to take your life in your own direction, in control of it. I don't want to be that mentor who is just constantly over you, constantly sending you, email and spam. I don't have time for it. You don't have time for it. Okay? Let's just be honest. I want to be needed less because if I'm needed less, that means you're winning. Some of you have hit the ground running. You are already the type of person who just kind of takes initiative and is self-motivated to do stuff and doesn't really need direction or guidance. But for others of you, you kind of need more of a push. And I'm willing to work with you on that. But you have to be willing to work on yourself and with yourself. And that goes back to you have to look at your goals every day. If you're not looking at your goals every day, at least look at them once or twice a week, a couple of times a month. You need to be listening to those affirmations. You need to be speaking to yourself a certain kind of way. And you need to be surrounding yourself with people who are also speaking positively, people who are uplifting you, motivating you, and encouraging you, and speaking that in your ear. You don't want to be around people who are negative, fuck this, fuck that, life ain't nothing, I can't get a break. That's not who you need in your ear, okay? Because that is not who is going to help you. Before a while, you will start thinking like that and speaking like that. And that's not what we need. Make sure you're on the right track. And when you feel yourself fallen off the track, which you often will do, that's when you have your goals, you have your vision board, you have your business plan. And even if you can only work at one thing at a time, and it may take 6 months working on one thing at a time, you keep hitting at it, eventually something is going to work. Something, you keep making phone calls, you keep putting forth the effort and the energy and the focus, eventually you are going to see some results. Look at anybody who's had a career that spanned longer than 30 years or so, and look at, they may have hit walls, and I'm talking about everything from writers to actors to businessmen and women to whole companies to whole brands. You can see where they've come through a metamorphosis. They may run into alcoholism and addiction, or they may go through some divorces and marriages and children and what have you. But on the back end of that, you're always going to be so much stronger, wiser, and better. Even when you go through something painful, it's going to change you. Yes, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt like hell. But when you come out on the other end, you are going to be so much better, so much stronger, so much wiser. So just keep going. Even if you feel yourself being just run into the dirt, keep going. Pick yourself up, even if you're going slow, even if you're on your knees. Like I said, you're looking at one thing at a time. You may have a list of 101 things you want to do and places you want to go, and you may be on one bullet point for 6 months, for 9 months, but you stay on it and you keep hammering at it, and eventually pay dirt. Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to some magnificent, marvelous change in your life. And that's why we're doing this 60-day negativity fast, because to learn anything, it takes repetition. It takes repetition. It takes repetition. It takes repetition. Just like if you really want to learn something or absorb something, you've got to hear it 7 times. We know that. We've seen the statistics. You have to listen to something 7 times before it sinks into a cellular level where you can fully grasp it. You hear it the first time, you may remember aspects of it, but you don't know it. You hear it 7 times, you pretty much will memorize it, depending on how interested you are in it and how much of your focus you're placing on it. But I say that to say, we have to start making some of the things that we want to happen in our lives. Just because it didn't work the first time or the second time or the third time, keep doing it. Repetition, 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 repetition. You want to lose weight? You got to stay in the gym or running your laps or doing your Pilates or doing your Zumba, whatever, yoga, whatever you're doing, stick to it. Repetition, 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 repetition. Many of you have, asked me about getting your book published, but you don't have a book finished. I can't even help you. I can't even make phone calls for you because you don't even have a finished product. Repetition, repetition, repetition. You have to work on it every day. You have to have a finished product. And the only way you're going to have a finished product, even if you're the finished product, is working on it every day. Little stuff every day goes a lot farther than huge big leaps every now and then. So that's why you have to look at your goals. First of all, you have to write your goals. And sometimes you'll notice over time, over a couple of days or weeks, over months, some of your goals will start to change. Because I've kept goals for years. And you may look at some of the goals that you wrote 2 years ago and say, you know what, a few of these are not even that important to me. I don't even really want these the way I thought I wanted it. Or, it's not that pressing that I go here or have this. And even think about it like this. Think about something that happened to you last year that kept you up late at night, kept you pacing the floor. You didn't know how you were going to get through it. Do you even think about it today? Does it even matter today? So your goals are going to evolve. But anyway, I don't mean to be long-winded. I want you to practice the hot poker principle, which basically says If we want to improve, we need to put ourselves in an environment that leads to success. Read great books. Read great books. Spend time with great people. Find them. Seek them out. Say, can I take you to lunch? Can we just go out for drinks? Order them drinks. Great people, let me tell you something about great people. They like to give advice. So find those CEOs. Find those people who have high prestigious positions at the church, or at the country club, or in the mosque, or in the temple, or in your neighborhood, or that your parents may know. Whoever, doctors, lawyers, engineers, .com entrepreneurs, whoever's close that you can touch. Find them out, surround yourself with them. If you cannot be around them all the time, say, hey, are you willing to mentor me? Are you willing to, can I just get some advice from you? Can you just talk to me? And you just be a fly on the wall and you just listen. Don't interrupt them. Don't insert your ego and what you think and what you're doing and who you are. We don't care. Right now, you're trying to glean and grasp as much as you can from this great person. Not so you can imitate them, but so you can kind of learn some of their habits, the way they think. Their mindset is what got them there. Because let me tell you something. I don't care what the world does to you. I don't care what life does to you. If you're a great person, life can knock you down, right? If you're a great person, you'll get everything back that you lost. And no matter what happens, you'll always turn right side up and be winning.